Everybody, it's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. 7 o'clock Sunday evening, time for Sunday night live chat. As always, we are live on two formats, both Facebook and YouTube. So as you see me glancing back and forth, that's what I'm doing, trying to keep up with both formats. Got several on YouTube already. Daniel's here, number one's here, Kim's here, Big Job's here, Old School's here, and lots of people jumping on already. Just connected on Facebook, so we're going there. We'll see if we got some guys that are going to hang out with us over there. We'll give everybody a few seconds to get their notifications that we are live and get rolling here. Gasser61 made it tonight. So already got a good group on, which is always great. Been an exciting week. Picked up a few things this week and got some more exciting things planned for this week as well. Lee's here. William's here. Old school. Rob. Yep, that's... No, number one, that's not the answer. So the answer is not the state of Missouri. Randy's here. David W. in Ohio. Enrique jumped on with us on Facebook. So we are going on Facebook. Of course, it's still giving me all kinds of error messages like it always does, but that seems to be par for the course for Facebook anymore. Glenn from Minnesota, another one of our regulars. Great group with a lot of familiar names popping up tonight. So glad you guys all took some time out of your Sunday evening to hang out with me. And all of us. Rusty Nails made it. Kevin's here. Enrique, actually, that's not a poster, Enrique. That is a silk showroom banner. It's a big, huge, I think it's silk. It's a cloth banner. So it's not even actually a poster. It's a showroom banner. It's a cool piece. Susan's here with us. Glad you're here. So anyway, but yeah, it's a cool piece. I'll kind of scooch out of the way a little bit. Sure is true for 52, the 170 horsepower Roadmaster, which you can't see down here below, custom built by Buick. So cool piece. Definitely thought it would be an attention getter. It kind of filled up the whole space, but obviously caught some of your eye. Joe's here with us on Facebook as well. Roddy's here. I hope I'm not missing anybody's YouTube scrolling here pretty quick, so I'm hoping I'm catching everybody as they're jumping on. Big Job picked up something this week too, COVID, but yeah, hopefully he's through the worst of it. Well, that's good. So Kevin Hobart's on with us on YouTube. So filling up fast tonight. Glad you guys are all here making this thing what it is. Tim from Canada, Jerry from New Mexico on Facebook. So hopefully you guys on Facebook are going to hang in there with us tonight. Like I said, it's already popping up all kinds of error messages. We'll see what happens. Roger's with us. It is Monday noon where Roger's at. Where are you at, Roger? I don't remember for sure. I get so many people on here, it's hard to keep them all straight. So David W. wasn't 53 for the first year for the Buick V8. 53 was the first year for the V8 and the Super and the Roadmaster. Special was still straight 8 and 53. Super Roadmaster with V8. This is 52. The reason this was touting 170 horsepower was it was a 4-barrel on the Roadmaster on the 52 straight 8. So that's so you are correct with the V8 being 53. Susan just jumped over to YouTube from Facebook and said, yeah, her Facebook was already getting wonky. So something to keep in mind if you're on Facebook and it's not cooperating. YouTube it seems to still be ticking along. So Daniel's here. Roger's in Australia. So great. Glad you made it from down under to hang out with us. Well, I say tonight, but I guess tomorrow there, so during the day for you. But yeah, it's a cool piece. It just takes up a lot of real estate, but I thought it was definitely worth hanging out and hanging up and checking out tonight. So anyway, before we get rolling too far, a couple of housekeeping pieces. If you are on the Nobody Show page on YouTube, I cannot see those comments. If you're on YouTube on the Nobody Show page, this is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto page. If you want to comment, play along in trivia, any of that type of stuff, you'll need to be on the Nobody Show channel on YouTube or the Nobody Else's Auto page on Facebook. So Enrique says Facebook is still hanging in there for him, so that's a good keep your fingers crossed that hangs in there. Jim from Pennsylvania jumped on with us on Facebook. So anyway, keep that in mind. Next thing, like we talked about a little bit last week, it got a little better. We still had a lot of issues with autocorrect. Please, when you type in a comment, double check your autocorrect before you hit send. because some of this stuff, when the messages get scrolling and scrolling and scrolling really quick, and I'm trying to keep up with them, if I have to stop and try to decipher something that I can't, I'm just going to skip it. That's all I can do. There's too much stuff going on, and that's the only fair way to do it for everybody. So I'm asking you to, be responsible for your messages, double check them before you send them, so that when they get to me, I can keep up with them. Next thing is, obviously, like we've been starting off some open chat where everybody's hanging out and making comments about general things and discussing what's happening in the market and stuff like that. That's great. When we get into the badges, when we get into the magazine, we're going to try to keep it on course as much as possible. When we're working through that stuff, we need to stick with what we're doing. So I'm going to prioritize any comments that are directly related to where we're at, be it the badges, be it the magazines, things like that. So, occasionally we'll have somebody jump in and say, hey, do you have one of these vehicles in stock? I'll tell them yes or no, and we'll keep moving. But we're going to try to keep it streamlined on the topic as we're going through. Now, like I said, we're in open chat, things like that. Now's the time to toss some stuff out there. But once we get rolling, we're going to try to pretty much stick with the format. So, let's see. David loves the straight eights. Cool banner. Eric from Idaho just jumped on. Scott just got on with us on Facebook, as well as Alec. So glad you guys are all here making this thing happen and doing what it does. So, but anyway, what else is going on? Some different things we've been talking about. Sam's here. Glad you made it, Sam. I did get some stuff put together for a raffle. Nope, it's not commercial or residential either, number one. So it's a little bit tricky tonight. I think we may even time it tonight because it's a little bit tricky. So when we get to the trivia question for this evening, but like we talked about last week, we only had 3 or 4 guys jump in on the raffle last week or last month. You guys said you still wanted to do it, so I did put together kind of a little prize pack for the raffle for this month of a mixture of things, and so we'll get to that. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll see if we get some more people participating this month, or if we're going to have to shift gears. I did grab a piece. If you guys want to have an auction, if we get a decent enough amount of people on here, we may try that as well. I know we're still a little low on people to do it where I'm comfortable with, like we talked about last week, but we'll see what happens if you guys want to try it. So we may try some of that too. But something else that's exciting this week. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm going to try for tomorrow, but it may be later in the week. We've got 2 cars to go get out of a building that have been there. At first, the guy said at least 20 years, but then he said that one, he goes, he don't remember driving it much past the 80s. He said they may have been in there close to 30 years. So it's actually a metal building, so I guess it's not technically a barn, but they've been stashed in there for a really, really long time. And so it's going to be an exciting video. One of these cars I am somewhat familiar with. I've had some in the past. One of these cars I've never even seen up close. Seen pictures of them, heard about them. Not extremely rare. They made about 20,000 of them in a 2-year run, but a really, really cool car. So I don't want to let the whole cat out of the bag till we get them out and get them cleaned up and kind of see what we've got. But definitely going to shoot some video before we touch them, before we get ready to move them out. And so it's going to be exciting. So looking forward to that. Like I said, I don't know what day that's exactly going to be, but should be sometime this week. So once we get to it, sometime by the end of the week, I should have that video up. At least the video of the as is, where is, covered in dust, buried in this shed for probably close to 30 years. So stay tuned. That's going to be an exciting video as well. Brian got the mini mag, so glad you got that. So that's old school barn finds just kind of turned into a generic term like Windex. Yeah. And there is a lot of truth to that. That's for sure. So, but anyway, Alan from Minnesota is with us. And no, so far you haven't gotten any of them right, number one. So it's going to be a little trickier. But anyway, that's going to be an exciting part of this week. We'll see how that works out, what day we can make arrangements to get in there and get them out. We've got a deal done on them. It's just a matter of getting in there and getting them moved out, getting them out in the daylight and seeing what is there, because they are kind of buried Obviously, they're domestic, Kevin. I don't really do much foreign stuff, so but it's neat stuff. I'm excited about it. I just want to get them out and get some cool video shot on them. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be well worth it. Anyway, looks like we're staying pretty much caught up here on comments. Not a lot coming in on Facebook. I hope you guys are still hanging in there with us. Hopefully, for no better than it's been working. But we'll work with what we've got for the time being. So, anyway, who wants to check out a few badges? We'll go ahead and get rolling in that. That's about all the notes that I had with as far as some. Oh, whoa! One other thing I did want to touch. Did want to bring up one other thing I forgot about in open chat. Kissimmee's going on. Upper taillights for 76 Tornado do not have any of those cars at all, Iron Daisies. So nothing at all right in that window of Tornado at all right now. So Bob from Massachusetts is on. Enrique says Facebook's hanging in there. That's a good sign. That's not very, we don't hear that very often from the Facebook side of things. So Kissimmee going on right now, obviously building up to next weekend. Number one, not going to mention the T-shirt. The T-shirt's there every week. Number one, so I didn't think it was worth mentioning. It's hanging up there behind me every week. So, and if you want to buy one, we've got them in stock, ready to go. So the details are in the text for this video on that as well. But Kissimmee obviously going on right now. Mega auction in Florida, leading up to next weekend, which is obviously going to be the huge weekend. You know, the Hero Hot of Merc, tons and tons of super rare, high dollar stuff. Really looking forward to that. So their live coverage, their live TV coverage starts here towards the end of the week. So far, it looks, so far what I've seen seems still extremely strong. 57 to 66 Ford 9-foot bed. Eric, the only thing, I've got that 63 Ford that just came in. I don't remember if that was an 8 or 9-foot step side. I'd have to check that. If you want to give me a shout after we get done, I can check that one. And that video is out there as well. So if you want to take a look at that. Frank's on. Number one says, kissing me, not before dinner. Yeah. Yeah. The Kissimmee, Florida sale is always been big for Mecum and seems to be getting bigger. Just some crazy cars. 5R002, the Shelby, the GT350R prototype that we did some videos on at Indy a couple years ago with our good friend Jim Wicks, is going to be rolling across the block again to see if that car changes hands again. So be sure to check that out. And if you're interested in that car, be sure to go back and see the videos we did with Jim. Jim is extremely knowledgeable on that car, gave us a lot of insight, a lot of details on it. There's one video where he just gives us a story. There's another video where he actually gets us around, gives us a walk around on the car, points out a lot of the features. That car's rolling across the block. That'll be worth checking out. So much cool stuff happening next week at Kissimmee that we could spend the next 3 days talking about it. So be sure to check out their website and see what they've got coming up. It's going to be exciting. Gary, have you done a video on the 57 Napco? Yes, that video is up. It is on YouTube, and the link is in the post on Facebook for that truck. So yeah, there is a video up on YouTube on that Napco. Scott, you're gonna have to compete with football, but paying more attention to you. Well, thanks, Scott. Appreciate that. Number one, did you pick a possible giveaway car from the yard yet? He suggests a pickup. So no, have not. In fact, I need to get a hold of those guys that we're working on a potential giveaway with. So Daniel, 2 videos ago I saw a Pontiac Belvedere. Oh, probably at Bonneville. I don't think so. I think it was just a regular old Bonneville that was hitting the front end is all. I don't think it was a GXP. Big job. Thought 99-foot beds were 53 to 56 Fords. There were, there were a lot of 9-foot beds out there that were used for a lot of different years. I think they used them well up into the 60s. They're just not very common, but back in the day, they were fairly common, but nobody ever saved them. So they're trickier to find today. Kevin, any progress on the engine of the loader? I believe so. We picked up the crankshaft from our friends at Weller Tractor Salvage last week. Crank looks beautiful, measures out all standard mains and rods. Got bearings found. Jim at Murphy Truck called me the other day. He's got bearings found, got gasket kit found. Hopefully should have all those parts, hopefully by the end of this week, and start going back together. So I'll bring you another video on it. They've got the engine apart, so we'll go take a quick look at that as well if you guys are interested in it, and check that out. So, but yep, hopefully, keep my fingers crossed, we're making progress. See, Daniel, it's awesome. The same video I saw for a second, 01 S10. I don't think there's any 01 S10s back in that area. I've got some S10s, but none of them are back there. So Don from Nashville's here. So let's see. Yeah, we're all caught up on Facebook as well. So anyway, keep it on Kissimmee. It's going to be an interesting week. Lots of things happening. We'll have a lot of things to talk about next week, depending on what happens at Kissimmee with some of those big cars. The Hero Hada Merc, legendary. So going to be interesting to see what happens, especially for as crazy as this market has been or is right now in general. So number one, S10s are going to blow up. I think S10s are going to get extremely popular. I agree with that too. Frank, any Willys Hurricane? I'm not sure what the Willys Hurricane was. That doesn't ring a bell with me. That's right, big job. I hope we're getting the loader back together. Jason made it tonight, so glad you're here. And let's start checking out some badges. Old School says everything's blowing up. Yeah, that's true. The market's just crazy right now. There's a lot of stuff that's good. Some of these 80s cars this last couple of days at Kissimmee have been bonkers even. So, let's see. Daniel's another one you don't want to get into an accident with was an S10. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of iron to them. Iron Daisies, a good 4100 for an 86 Caddy Seville. Don't have anything there as well, or either. Old School saw a 91 Ford Escort Pony edition on eBay for $9,000, and that honestly does not surprise me. There again, those cars were kind of disposable, and nothing was left. Nathan, 80 four-door Regal Century taillights. I've got one Century four-door. I think it might be an 80. I'm not sure. If you want to give me a shout in the morning, I'll get you on my list. I think one taillight's chipped, but the other one is probably still okay. If you want to give me a shout on that in the morning, I'll get you on my list and double check it. So let's get into some badges. Check out some cool stuff there. We're having a lot of fun with this. A lot of you guys have really had a lot of good support for the badge section. Ben, my 37 Street Rod from Michigan made it. Glad you're here. Says hit the like button. Always appreciate you guys hitting the like button, hitting the shares, and the super chats, all the stuff you guys do to support this. Some of you guys do throw up some super chats from time to time. That's always great. Super appreciate that. Frank, those are the end. Yeah, I have seen those engines that said Hurricane, but I don't know if I've got any or not. I know I don't have anything that's any good. But I think one of those Henry J's had a Hurricane head on it, if I remember correctly. I'd have to double check that. If you want to give me a shout tomorrow, I can get you on my list and double check it. The first badge we're going to go to tonight, we're going to start off like we did last week. You guys want more badges, more emblems, so we'll split them up a little bit. We'll do an older one, and then we'll move up a few decades to a different one. Chopper 1 made it back tonight. Haven't seen you in a while, Chopper 1. Glad you're here. Tonight, we're going to start off with the Studebaker badge. Jason says more badges, more stinking badges. All right, well, let's get rolling with a Studebaker. This is a 26, 27, 28 era Studebaker badge. Iron Days just picked up a Cadillac with a bad 4100. Yeah, the 4100s didn't last very long, so I'm surprised that it was even somewhat maybe going here in recent history. But like I said, 26, 27, 28 era on this Studebaker. It is a smaller badge. It's about 2 3/8 across and about 1 3/4 inches tall. So this is kind of small. This one has a little bit of chipping in it, but it is still a cool piece. We see the wheel, basically a wagon type looking wheel because Studebaker made wagons. The cool cursive script they used in here. It's got the outside perimeter in white, the black around the wheel. Bang, a couple of little whammos in it. This one has a slight bow to it from when it was pried off, but still a neat piece. This was one that was pressed on, to the grill shell in the back, which obviously that little flat spot that it was pressed on is missing. So but it is a cool badge. And they're again almost 100 years old, but a cool piece, and that's why I love these early badges. Is the stories they tell. Like I said, 1926, 1927, 1928, 95 years old, still around, even though it's got a few whammos, but cool piece. And there again, all this, everybody had, you think back in the 20s, so many cars looked so much alike. They were so similar that, sometimes that was really the defining point of the car. So it had to be unique. It had to be cool. So that's, what's great about them. That's why I love them. That's why I have hundreds of them. That's why we talk about them, because they're such great pieces. So cool piece there. Enrique says Facebook's a little bit choppy, but still hanging in there. So hopefully you guys are still with us. But there's the first badge for the night. So hope you guys enjoyed that one. Daniel's at 0405 Silverado SS is the headrest embroidered in. That I don't know. I'm not sure on that. The next badge we're going to check out is going to it's going to be a little bigger to check out. It's a little bit longer, and we're going to move up a few decades with this one. And this is a super cool piece. It is a truck badge, and I thought it would be a great piece. I hope you guys are going to be able to take it in, because it's a couple of feet long. This actually was on a door. Susan loves the Studebaker badge. Yeah, it's a cool piece. But this one here, I'm going to see how long this thing actually is before I even hold it up. Almost 32 inches. So this is a big one. Early 50s era on a bigger truck on a Diamond T. I hope you guys can see this thing. I'm going to try to lean back. These actually mounted below the windows on the doors. Definitely a statement piece. These are stainless, 32 inches long. I didn't see how wide it is. About 2¼ wide. So big piece. We can see the remnants of some green paint in it right here on the fancy T. And, so this background would have all been painted green. It is a stainless piece, but it is a great piece. Enrique, badges nowadays are an afterthought. Nothing special like old badges. Yep, I agree with that. But that's why we check them out. That's why we talk about them. That's why we dive into the history of them. Like I said, this on your door, on the side of the truck, it stood out. I mean, Bill from Pennsylvania made it. Glad you're here. Yep. Yeah, we talked about the Roadmaster banner a little earlier. Bill, glad you made it tonight for the 1952 170 horsepower 4-barrel straight 8 Roadmaster. So, but Diamond T back in the day, they were a premier truck. They were a fancy truck. Now, this era of Diamond T, this is, like I said, early 50s. This is when they were essentially using international cabs. The split back window on the early 50s, international, of that era, Diamond T used those cabs, and then put their own front clips and things like that on them. Brian's a Diamond T fan, yeah, and because Diamond T was a premier truck, they were the kind of the top of the line deal. They were a great piece, and like I said, this is overkill almost to put on the door, but there again, they were a premier truck. They wanted to tell everybody they were a premier truck. Even when they were using international cabs, they still did their thing and made sure that everybody knew who they were and what they were doing. So that's all right, Bill. You are a little late, but not a problem. We're just getting a good start, but we're glad you made it anyhow. So like I said, 32 inches long, basically the entire width of the door. Big Job digs it, but Big Job's a truck guy too. So it is an awesome piece. And there again, a statement piece. When you look at the close-up of the T, the ornate on the T, which Diamond T used that style of T for years because it is how they stood out. If you want to be the fancy truck, the premier truck, you had to portray that, and that's what Diamond T did. So Nate, so yeah, those early Diamond T's looked like they were chopped from the factory. Yeah, that's true. Chopper, the 80 Malibu taillights. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're on because I pulled, I relisted everything on the first, and I'm pretty sure I put them back on, that they are relisted. So if you can't find them, you can give me a call, but I'm pretty sure they're on there. Big Job says belongs on a toolbox. Yeah, it's like I said, you can see how big this thing is while I'm sitting here holding it. So I'm like leaning back so you guys can actually see this thing because it is a big piece. But it is cool and it is a statement piece. But there again, when you're the premier truck, you want everybody to know you're the premier truck. You've got to show everybody that you are the premier truck. So, how big was the Diamond T? No, this was on the truck. These were mounted, and I've seen some pictures of them. I've seen a few trucks that had them, but these were on the door. Basically, when you hung your arm out the door, this was shortly below it. So it's a cool piece. So I'm excited about that too. But anyway, that's why I love these things. You know, unfortunately, I like them too much because I end up spending way too much money on them. But they are great pieces. So. Okay, that sounds good, Chopper. Yeah, if you want to call me tomorrow, that's fine. Daniel had a couple comments pop up too. We missed those as we were scrolling through here. But anyway, is anybody interested in doing an auction piece? Enrique digs it. Joe digs it on Facebook. I've missed those popping up. So if anybody's interested in doing an auction piece, we can do that. Just tell me what you guys think. Big Job says auction the badge. Well, which one do you want to auction? Susan wants the auction, yes. Well, the piece I was thinking about auctioning, if you guys wanted to do it, was the Studebaker. This is an extra. I've got a couple of these, so this is an extra. So if you guys want to have an auction, I'll sell this Studebaker badge. If you guys are in, we can do it. So Jason's a fan of the chopped look of the Diamond T's as well. So so if anybody wants to do the Studebaker badge, we can roll with it. You know, yeah, everybody wants me to sell the Diamond T. That's the only one of those I've got. This is an extra. I can sell this. This is the only one of these I've got. And I like badges as much as all you guys do. So, but if everybody's game, we can go with it. If you guys want to hit it, we can start. Number one says he's already in for $1. So. But if we want to do it, we can do it before we get into the magazine. If anybody wants to roll with it, throw up a bid. Let's go with it. See what everybody thinks. Old school's a fan of oil cans and the steel pressed steel toys. So, David W. Studebaker fan. Number one, Diamond T would make a great under rear window trim interior piece. Yeah, it would. I mean, you could anything that's flat where you got 32 inches that would look cool on a truck. So. But anyway, yeah, Enrique says we can auction your daughter's truck. I don't think that would fly. Joe wants to auction the Diamond T. So, well, if we're going to do an auction, I'll auction the Studebaker, but the Diamond T I'm keeping. That's the only one I've got. Those are hard to find. I was kind of excited to get that one. So, anyway, if you guys want to do an auction, let's go ahead and start it and see what you guys think. So, Big Job says 18 bits. I assume that's $18. I'm not sure, but I assume that's where you're going with that, Big Job. But I'll keep an eye on both formats, and we'll keep rolling with it. So Lori said 18 on a badge. Well, Big Job beat you with that. So Big Job says he's in at 18. We'll roll with it for a little bit. Kevin came in with 10. Those are almost becoming at the same time. So. But anyway, does anybody else want in on the badge, or Jason just spent a bunch of money on matchbooks? So Scott says if he still had his hawk, he'd be playing on it. But Daniel says he was watching an old McGuire's Car Crazy. That was always a good show. They had a guy that did car commercials on this stuff. So a bit is a quarter. So 18 bits. So that's 450. So Lori's in at 18 on the badge then if you were 18 bits. So I assume Lori's in at $18. If I'm incorrect on that, Lori, let me know. But we'll keep rolling on this here for a few minutes and see what see where we're gonna go with it. If unless everybody's gonna let Lori have it for 18. We're going to get ready to get rolling with the magazine here. We'll start touching on the magazine as we get going. Gail from Des Moines on with us on Facebook. So hopefully Facebook is still hanging in there. We do still have some people on there with us. So let's see. 1 then 10, then 18, then 19, then 20. Well, I assume Lori's on the 18. Are you 20, number one? Lori says she was in at 18. So, okay, that's fine. You're in at 18 unless somebody outbids you here in the next few minutes. Nate said he'll do 20 on it. So we've got Nate at 20. We'll go, what time is it? It's 7:30, 7:31. We'll go about 2 more minutes on it and see if anybody wants to outbid Nate at 20. Number one, a bid is only half a quarter. So 2 bits is only 25 cents. Okay. It's kind of beyond me. So I've got Nate at 20. We'll go, let me sit. I'll set the timer on my phone is what we'll do. And we'll go 2 more minutes. So we got Nate at 20. I set the timer right now for 2 minutes. So if anybody wants in, D-Man's in for 25. So we got D-Man at 25 on the Studebaker badge. And this does include shipping. I will ship it in the U.S. for this. If and I think, yeah, this will actually, I think I can get this to Canada too. So I think this is small enough it might go to Canada as well. So I will go ahead and ship this for this, and I'll have to check on Canada. BW's Garage, we're auctioning off the Studebaker badge right now. D-Man's Garage is in for 25 on the Studebaker badge. But definitely shipped in the 48 states, and I'll have to check on shipping to Canada to see if I can do anything any different. Jason's in for 30. Like I said, it's got a slight bow to it, a little bit of chipping in it, but a cool piece. So Jason's in for 30. That's the top bid. We've had a couple other ones less than that. We're up to 1 minute. We've got 1 more minute to go. So if anybody wants to jump in, we're down to a little less than a minute. We can't keep them going forever, so we had to put it on somewhat of a time. But BW has been project car shopping all day. So Jason for 30 on the Studebaker badge is who we've got as of right now. Kevin, bring back the Hudson badge. It's still laying here. We can look at it again, but I'm not getting rid of it. I don't think that's a spare. I'll see if I've got a spare of those. 30 seconds left. I've got Jason at 30. And it looks like we're getting close to being about done. Nobody else is jumping in. 20 seconds left. Down to about 10. So it looks like Jason's going to be our buyer at $30. And 5 seconds. And looks like that's it. We're done. Jason's our winner at $30. So let me jot that down real quick, and you can give me a shout tomorrow on that, Jason, and you can do PayPal friends and family like we talked about, or send me a check or whatever. But I've got you down for 30 on the Hudson badge to Jason Withrow. Thanks for playing, everybody. Appreciate everybody jumping in. Jason's daughter wants it, so he's super excited that it's going to her daughter or to his daughter, because I'm sure she's going to dig it, because as you guys know, me and my daughter and I buy tons of these because we love them. The ones on the little wooden boards, she actually did those, put those on wooden boards because those were kind of the ones that she liked the most. So congratulations, Jason. Heading to Jason for $30. Get a hold of me. We'll get that on the way to you. I've got your name on it. So, yep, that's right. Big job. Sold. Let's see. Lots of stuff popping up. Impala Christopher from Impalas to buy. Just depends on what you want on that. Just have to give me a shout to go through the details. Kelly, 69 Roadrunner, any good and how much? I've only got one here and it's pretty rough. You want to give me a call tomorrow to go over the details on that. That's right. $30 first ever. Nobody's somebody's badge auction. That's right. Number one. So, Mercedes made it tonight. Glad you're back with us. Jason, JC May's first emblem. All right, that's cool. So I'm super excited that that's for your daughter. For as much as my daughter and I do with this stuff, I am super happy that you got that, Jason, and that you and your daughter are going to enjoy it. So I'm actually thrilled that it worked out that way. So that's cool. So anyway, that's right. Number one, another generation coming up. Eloy made it tonight. Glad you're here, Eloy. So anyway, that was kind of fun. And I'm glad that it worked out for everybody, and I'm glad Jason got it. And I think that's fair all the way around. So thanks for playing, everybody. I liked it. It was a good time. We'll try, if you guys are up for it, we'll try it again next time. Maybe we'll grab a can. Maybe we'll grab another badge. Old School says, yes, auction was good. Thanks. Gail says, getting a little glitchy on Facebook. If you're having issues on Facebook, you can always jump over to YouTube to the Nobody Show channel. Eric, 65 Mercury comment. I do not have any 65 comments. I've got some 64s. So Terry just jumped on with YouTube. Glad you're here. So anyway, the Gasser 61 says Jason just needs a car to match it for her now. So Big Job said it was fun. I thought it was cool. I had a great time with it. So maybe it's a new piece to the show. So I'm excited, and I think that was fair all the way around. Number one, do I have any 64 Novas? Nope, nothing there. Susan had fun with the auction. Cool. I'm excited about that. Definitely could be a new addition, and glad that it worked out that way. Old School, looking for a 50s Turtle Wax glass bottle. Well, I can see one right over there, but it's my daughter's. So Brian Schultz gives the auction a thumbs up. Lori says, get extra money. Well, like I said, a lot of this stuff I do have spares of that I picked up, and that's what it's for. It's inventory to me. So, a lot of this stuff I keep. Here's the Hudson. Everybody want to see the Hudson badge. Actually, I think they just want to see the Hudson badge because they played a game last week. If you try to show the Hudson badge, you get a drink. So there it is, guys. We'll keep flipping her up there for you. So, Kim says Kansas is too far away to come. So Big Job says run with it. Okay. BW is looking for the 64 Nova. Old School hard shell finish Brillium. I don't know if that's what that one says or not. I can't see the whole bottle. I can just see part of it. So I guess we can get it out and check it out next week. So number one, got to run to the garage and get a beer. Show the Turtle Wax. I can run and grab it. It's right over there if you guys want to hold on for a second. But Eric's, I've got 64 comments. I've got 65 Falcon and a 64 Falcon, but no 65 comments, Eric. So, but glad you enjoy the videos anyway. So, let's see. Susan Lovett, son's got a 51 Hudson Project. Jason, she's trying to get my 73 Dodge pickup. Yeah, Enrique switched over to YouTube, but good. I hope that works out better for you. That's right, Kevin. I don't have to get a gavel. That's true. I've talked to my partner Chris on the auction, see if I can get me a gavel. Big Job can't drink and do COVID. So he's frustrated. Norma, love this. You're doing a great job. Thanks. Appreciate it. Let's see. Number one got plans for now. Next week, the turtle shell. So yeah, we'll try to get that worked in next week. Let me jot that down so I remember to get it out. And if we get time tonight, maybe we can go grab it. But we'll kind of keep rolling. We'll go ahead and get into the magazine and get Boogie in here. And then if we get a few minutes at the end, you can let me know on the as far as the go grab the Turtle Wax bottle. Real quick, one other thing that I wanted to bring up before we jump into the magazine, before I forget. Last week, one of our viewers sent this to me and asked me to show it. Rusty Nails. There you go. Just get a rubber hammer. I was just getting to you. Rusty Nails sent me a couple of pictures, and he wanted me to throw this up here to see if anybody had any ideas on it. So I'm going to show this picture. It's on my phone, so it's not real. It's going to be probably kind of tough. But he asked me, I don't know what it is. It's some sort of an air pump, but I bet some of you guys will know what it is. So everybody wants the gavel. BW loves the Roadmaster banner. Yeah, it's a great piece. But Rusty Nails sent me this and said, see if anybody knows what this thing is. So asking for your opinion on this air pump, hand operated. this, you put like a handle in here and cranked it, and it would pump. So he's been said he told it was an old hand air compressor. So it was told it was an air pump for like a scuba diver. So if anybody's got any ideas on that thing, let us know, because he's curious and I'm curious. So see if we can get another picture where it's a little bit clearer here. We'll look at one more picture of it, and then you guys see what you think on that. But told him we'd throw it up there and see if anybody knows. Big Job says for making sausage. So Susan, was it for a mobile Model T or horseless carriage? We don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out. So thought we'd throw it up here and see if anybody had any clues, because I didn't. So anyway, I told him we would check it out and see if anybody had any ideas. Push me, pull me pump. Enrique, old brake line breather now. This actually has like cylinders to pump air with. So kick it around. If anybody's got any ideas, we're all ears. Tonight's magazine. Like I kept telling you guys, we spent the last month going over the mini mags we gave away for the raffle. So, and that was all early 60s stuff. Definitely wanted to mix it up a little bit, move around a little bit on years. Nathan really enjoys the videos. Appreciate it. There again, I can't believe the support I get from you guys. It's amazing that you guys really do enjoy what we're doing here. So, no one says push me, pull me, pump to get water out of a diesel. It might do that too. But so I told you we'd move up or start moving around a little bit back in magazines, kind of like we've always done. So we're going to move up to July of 1979 this week with the Motor Trend. From July of 1979, got a Corvette and it's a GMC version of the El Camino on the cover of this Motor Trend. Now, we look at a lot of these. What's so great about these, especially Motor Trend, even today, covers new cars. So when we go back and check this stuff out, Susan's got a bail off. Well, I'm glad you made it for part of tonight, Susan. Number one, Wild Turkey, High Karate, and Action Slacks. Unfortunately, no turkey hunts tonight. We do have a couple of booze ads to check out because I love them. So Bill says he's definitely online with the air pump. So, but I love these because we're taking a look back in time with 2020 hindsight. Eric, any 66, 67 Fairlanes? No complete cars at all, just a few bits and pieces left, but very, very few bits and pieces left for 66, 67 Fairlane. So, as always, when we start off with one of these Motor Trends, we always start off with the Detroit Report. Number one, is that the Diablo on the cover? Yes, it is the Diablo on the cover. So, we're going to definitely get into that article as well. But as always, the Detroit Report is what we always love to start with in these issues of Motor Trend, because we're looking at what the Detroit Report a lot of times is what they think is coming out of Detroit. And the first article that we saw was definitely what we thought was what they thought was coming, and it was fairly close. Number one says everybody drinks. So there you go. There's the badge. Everybody can drink. Enrique digs the ads, man. We got some great ads. I think we got more ads than articles to check out tonight because the ads were so great in this one. But to start off with in the Detroit Report, and somebody just mentioned that earlier about a car that Ford made. Yeah, well, we just flashed it. We'll flash it again so everybody can drink one more time. On the new coming out, remember, this is July 1979. 1980 something, they didn't know exactly when because they've got an X with it. The 1980 something Erica. And that's exactly what it says, the Erica. Small little hatchback type car, station wagon type version. And obviously and if you looked at the pictures and thought about the name for a second, it probably didn't take long to figure out what the Erica became. But I believe that was what turned out to be the Escort. You look at the pictures, you study it a little bit, and there again, at that point, they thought it was going to be called the Erica, became the Escort. The rest is history. So thought that was pretty cool. There again, we're taking a look back with 2020 hindsight of what was happening in the automotive world at that time. Something else that was kind of interesting was they had an article on the Dodge Omni, the 024, and they called it the most successful experiment to date. And, obviously we look back now and nobody would really think of an Omni as probably the most successful experiment to date of anything in the car world. But that's exactly what literally the most successful experiment to date is the Omni 024. Why is it the most successful experiment? It was the slipperiest car being made at that time. The front end was designed with that rubber nose with wind tunnel tests and aerodynamics in play. So because of that, it was the most successful car at that time. They designed those rubber nose cones, which a lot of us probably remember, to be slippery, which was becoming a huge thing at that point. So, number one, Erica becoming an escort sounds like some Detroit auto industry erotic fiction paperback. Yeah, it's probably not too far off. So I thought that was interesting that the 024 Omni was the most successful experiment to date in the car world. So let's flip up a couple of pages here. And we'll get into the roving report in Motor Trend, July of 1979. Obviously, the new Ford pickup was getting ready to come out. And they were being apparently criticized for downsizing the Ford pickup. Iron Daisy has 2 Omnis out behind the garage, and neither one's worth the effort of hauling them in for scrap. Hey, they were the most successful experiment at the time. New Ford truck not downsized. Ford officials talking about the all-new pickup truck for 1980 have stressed that although the new vehicle is 3 inches shorter and 2 inches narrower and 2 inches lower, it is not a downsized pickup. So that they were kind of, fighting that, I think, and this was trying to offset any negative press that they were making a smaller full-size pickup because everybody was worried about losing their full-size pickup. So number one, 2 Omnis don't make a right. That's probably a lot of people that would agree with you on that. So Enrique, the Escort made an outstanding run. Yeah, they did. I mean, and Escorts were around forever, and they weren't not bad little cars. They really weren't. Jason says you started drinking a little early today, didn't you, number one? Hudson Badge. That's right. The flare side in that particular picture, Enrique, you're exactly right. Now, the other interesting thing about the roving report, there's just a little tidbit right here. I'm going to read it to you because there's no pictures. It's just this little tidbit right over here. According to the publication of the Texas Office of Traffic Safety, 1913 was the first year in American history during which more automobiles were sold to consumers than horse-drawn carriages and sleighs. Only 14 years earlier, the federal government had reported that at annual sales of over 1 million a year, bicycles might completely replace the pedestrian. So in 1913 was the first year that automobiles outsold carriages and sleighs. So interesting tidbit, in fact. Kelly's a 69 Roadrunner, a fixer-upper. It's pretty tough, but it does have tags and a title, but it would take a satellite to fix it. So if you want to give me a shout tomorrow, I can go over all the details of what is and isn't there. But it does have a title and it does have tags. So there's something there to work with. Enrique's got a 63 flare side. Everybody's ready to drink when the Hudson Badge went up. Iron Daisy said the Omnis are homes to a couple cats. They hang out there. So, number one, in high school, I got to ride with a girl that had the AC on all winter in her Escort. She kept trying to get the heater replaced. I think you're in Canada, and the air conditioner in the winter would not have been fun. So, what year were the horse and carriage banned? I'm not sure. Old school. If you want to look that up and let us know, I'll throw that out there too. So, Hudson Badge. But anyway, so much great stuff in here. And let's see. One other thing in the roving report real quick that once again looking at the future of what they think is going to happen, and this one we know now didn't. The image booster, picture of a Corvette called the image booster. Now, you guys probably can't see it right here, but right here on the front fender where they said Crossfire in 82, this one says Turbo Corvette. They were actually talking about putting the turbo in the Corvette, similar to what the Trans Am had in that era. So obviously we know now it didn't happen, but at this point in July of 1979, that was a real possibility that was on the table. It says we shouldn't expect to see a new bodied Corvette until 83, which they started production in 83, but they never made an actual production 83 Corvette. They were all 84s, even though production started late in 83, so they just considered them all 84s. But the Turbovette pictured here will not be a 1980 option. We now know now that it never became an option. So there again, it's cool to look back at what they were thinking was going to happen. Whether it did or didn't, we can look back now and know. Loch Ness Fox made it tonight. Glad you're here. So Old School says, I don't think they're banned. Amish use them. Yeah, that's true. There's still Amish in this area that do use them. Let's see. David W. saw a similar hand air pump for the old metal diving helmets. And that was one thing that Rusty Nails thought it might have been, was for somebody that told him it might be diving helmets. So you might be on the right path there too, David W. Iron Daisy still has Amish in his area in that area with horse and buggy as well. Now, up to the cover article. The Corvette and the Contender. Can a maxed out L82 Corvette retain its dominance against an upstart GMC sport truck? And like was mentioned earlier, the Diablo. Now this is a special one here. We'll get into a little bit of the details. Number one, what killed the Turbovette? I just don't think they ever decided to produce it. The Turbo Trans Am's never made a ton of power, and probably just couldn't really justify it. And probably wasn't a lot of room to package all the plumbing in there either. So those are fairly narrow in the engine bay. Big job. No wonder divers didn't live long. Yeah, if you're relying on that, that could be true. But this was a fairly in-depth article on the Diablo versus the Corvette. This was actually the Diablo del Calle, is what they called it. Diablo del Calle is what they called this one, because this was a modified. GMC actually modified these into a performance type version. Now, something else we can look at real quick while we're here. Obviously, they have the interior shots. Anybody see anything weird about the, obviously, here's the Corvette interior. Anything see anything weird about the GMC interior, like the Trans Am steering wheel? Yeah, as I skimmed through this article, they actually had Herb Adams do the suspension in this car, who did the Herb Adams Trans Ams back in the 70s. So it had a heavy-duty suspension. That's right, Kevin, we've got some colored pictures in here. Number one, those headlight covers are hen's teeth. Yeah, those have got to be super rare. Let's see. BW Garage tagged you on my community. Appreciate that. Thanks. Appreciate all you guys for letting your friends know and bringing them over to hang out. Iron Daisy's sister has a Turbo Firebird. That's right. Number one, it is column shift. And on all of these in-depth articles in Motor Trend, we do have road test data. Enrique likes the decal on the hood of the Diablo. So we've got some actual data here that we'll compare real quickly. Like I said, we don't have time to get into all of this, but we'll look at some of the basics. The Corvette, it was an L82, 350 automatic, and base price as tested $13,769. Oh no, this actually was a stick. It does say it was a 4-speed manual. Quarter mile, 1576 at 89 miles an hour. The Diablo del Calle, or whatever they were supposed to call it, was price as tested $9,600 approximately, because this was not a production model at this point, and I don't think it ever was a production model. Number one says that Diablo decal actually had a name, but he can't remember it, and I don't either. But it was also a 350 4-barrel engine, automatic, but it was much slower, ran 1737 in the quarter. Versus the Corvette's 1574. So, but obviously they were trying to do something with it to make it more of a sportier contender in that world. So I thought that was pretty interesting to study that article, check that out. I mean, not really comparing apples to apples, but trying to make the orange compete with the apple type thing. So that there again, we're looking back at what people were thinking, what the manufacturers were trying to do, where they were trying to go with things at that point. That's what's so great about this. We'll flip up a couple more pages and we'll check out another very interesting car that kind of caught my eye at first because I was trying to figure out what it was. And where they were going with this thing. Now, it's July of 1979. Most of us know the Fox body Mustang and Capri had come out in 79. A revolutionary design, compared to the Mustang 2. Bill says, hit the like button. Appreciate that, Bill. Appreciate your guys' support on all of that. The likes, the shares, the inviting your friends over, the super chats. That stuff is also great when you guys do that. However, this little Capri looked a little different. The article was entitled The Sexiest Little Capri. But Lincoln Mercury didn't bring you this one. So let's take a look at this thing. Now, we know in the late 80s, they had Fox body Mustang convertibles, but you got to remember, we're talking July 1979. So this was a little different for the time. Don't know how many of these were made. These were actually a conversion company done by a limousine company in California. Now, the market they were going at was actually the little 450 SL Mercedes market. Small, sporty little roadster is where they were going with this thing. They were pretty expensive. The conversion cost about $8,000 on top of the car. So, that brings according to this article, that brings your total into the car in the $13,000 to $15,000 range. So I assume the cars were in the $5,000 to $8,000 range to begin with. This is that's about $20,000 cheaper than a 450 SL. These things, they took this thing so far as the rear deck to make them look like a 450 SL that it says they actually used a Mercedes trunk lid on these conversions. Now it's kind of tough to tell. I'll hold it up here so you guys can maybe try to get a look at it. But they actually used the Mercedes trunk lid on the back of this and adapted it so it had the same body lines across the back of it. So pretty interesting what they did. Who knows how many they actually converted. This may have been it. This may have been the only one. You never know. Shopcat made it. Would have been here earlier, but was chasing runaway pigs. Well, that sounds interesting. Number one, my cousin's Speed and Chrome shop built special day 2 Diablos with big fat tires in the back and called them the Diablo El Came. And the 455 model is a Diablo Caliente. So, let's see. Okay, the shop cat out chasing pigs kind of threw everybody off there for a second. So, anyway, that definitely caught my eye with the direction they were going with that little Capri convertible, and obviously, they had just came out. It did say fewer than 500 of them will be built, but who knows if they got that many orders either. So. But that's what's great. We go back and we learn about all this stuff. Now, the next article we're going to look at, and there again, we've got to put ourselves back in this place in time. Now, do I remember this place in time? I don't remember anything. I was 4.5 years old. I don't remember any of this in real time. So, Jim from Virginia just jumped on. Nathan, Dream Cars of 79 Hurst Olds. Those are great cars too. Definitely right in this window of what we're talking about. So, Lori Newport ad on the back page. Yeah, I actually did mix a few cigarette and liquor ads in because it's just the time period. I just love it. So I don't remember any of this firsthand. I was 4.5 years old in July of 1979, but there were things happening in the automotive world that were really going to shake things up. Lori drives a 65 Newport. I got a great one of those in stock at the yard too. Did 79 have the lightning rods? I don't think they did in 79. I think it was just a basic floor shift on those. But one of the things that was really happening in 1979 that we still see the reflex of today because mainly the company survived, the amazing management man. The amazing management man. Lee Iacocca going to Chrysler. There again, stellar career with Ford. The Mustang, the Falcon. I mean, all the stuff that Iacocca did at Ford. And then, obviously there was, some upper management issues, so we say, with the Ford family and things like that. And Iacocca was available. He took over Chrysler and literally saved Chrysler, turned it around. Great story. Obviously, no way to get into this entire article. And I've got some cool stuff from this era that I need to show you guys. But very cool that what they were talking about at this point. Let's see. Old school. Got any 66 Catalinas? Yeah, I've got some of those. I've got several 66 full size in the yard. Roger, Escorts front wheel drive. Yes, they were. Jason, can't remember that. I'm not sure on that. Old school 70s Escorts were rear wheel drive. I don't know that those were in the 48 states on rear wheel drive Escorts here. So big job. Ford screwed up letting him go. Mike Shook still sees the shirt in the background waiting. I want to bring one to the shop. I need to come over and get my junk out of your fences, and I'll bring you one when I do that. My good friend Mike Shook at Auto Artistry on. We're going to give away one of his oil cans tonight too. So be sure to check out Auto Artistry and check out the cool projects they've got going on. Steel Ponies, they say both companies there, and they can make an argument for that. Absolutely. So old school. Yeah. Okay. Overseas Escorts. That's right. That, yeah, I do remember seeing stuff on those. They were not U.S. editions though. Number one, if you find a better car, buy it. Yep. And that was one of Iacocca's pitches. That's for sure. Nathan, wish I had a yard like yours. I'd be in heaven. Nate, there's a book about him that is really good, but I can't remember the title of it. I've got it too, and I can't remember the title of it either. I've read it. Chris, my parents purchased a 79 Turbo LeSabre new, and I would like to find a Turbo LeSabre to go with my Turbo Regal. They also made a Turbo Century too. So, all right, I'll have to get a hold of you, Mike. You got more junk to check out. So, but the Iacocca article, it was so great. But like I said, how do you get into it? It's several pages, but there is some more stuff that we are going to get into that on where Chrysler was going at this point, because you got to remember Chrysler was pretty much on its deathbed in the late 70s. They didn't have any cash. They didn't. Their products were, not stellar, but things were getting ready to change. Hudson Badge, and since things were starting to change, where were they going? Well, that's the next article right after we get through the Iacocca article. And that is Catch a Falling Star. Catch a Falling Star. Chrysler hopes the first Iacocca cars will put the future in its pocket. Our old school, the unions drained the company. And there again, I don't remember a lot of the specific details because, like I said, I was 4 years old at this point, not the 5 years prior to that. But what was cool about this was, and actually we've got a little bit of color here. We've got a couple of pages, and I'll hold these up here for a few seconds so everybody can check them out, of some potential designs, changes, things like that people were hoping to see out of Chrysler. Obviously, I don't really see anything that really resembles the K car here. Kind of the back of this one kind of does. But, obviously the K car is what saved the company. It's what turned things around and really changed the automotive industry. The first minivan was based off the K car platform. A lot of the stuff that we know is commonplace today came from that. So this was cool with some actual color renderings of what they thought may have been coming at that time. Roger, we call those the Ford Laser. One more article we're going to check out. Then we're going to check out some ads because the ads are just great. We got a lot of color ads to check out. It's awesome. Old school, Honda and Toyota never unionized. Yeah, and a lot of them are in other states other than Michigan because of that as well. But one more thing I want to check out. One more article. America's last chance at traditional luxury. The Lincoln Town Car. Number one, Diplomats Muratas. Yep, that's what they are. The Lincoln Town Car, America's last chance at traditional luxury. And you got to remember, these were the last of them, these monster town cars. I always thought they were kind of cool. The town cars and the Mark V's in the late 70s. They were neat cars. They were cool cars. And we got a little more info on the next page once we get it flipped here. And it actually has the new rendering for the new 1980 Mark in this article. But obviously, like I said, these were the last of the big monster town cars. I've actually got one of these to pick up. I should have one of these in within the next couple weeks. I think it is a 78 town car. So only one I've got. So I'm excited to get it in. And I think these cars, the Mark V's are already starting to take off. Finding nice, good, clean, original ones of these old Lincolns is getting tough. So thought, there again, the last big, huge luxury car was worth taking a second and taking a look at. So there she is, the town car. According to this July issue of Motor Trend, America's last chance at traditional luxury. Let's see, David, people wanted Lee Iacocca to run for president. Yeah, I do kind of remember that. Kevin, my dad had a town car, and they were great. They were huge. They floated down the road, that's for sure. So that's what I had for articles. Nathan, a big fan of Lincoln's, just bought a 94 town car with 40,000 miles. I think they're great cars. They really are. BW's Garage had a few more 70s caddies at Kissimmee this past weekend. Yeah, I've seen some of that stuff popping up. 1988, he was planning the stage of the campaign with the slogan, "I like I," before ultimately being talked out of it by his friend Tip O'Neill. Okay. There again, I don't remember a lot of that stuff. So big job. That a 78 TC was a blast to truck around. Yeah, those old town cars were cool. Rush Nell says demo cars. Hey, I don't think anything's a good demo car right now, just because it's all gone after that. Lori knows somebody with a 77 restored 77. So, yeah, they're neat cars. Let's check out some ads. Tons of cool ads. Got as many more ads, I think, than we did articles. So, first ad, a lot of color in these ads as well. Iron Daisies has a 77 town car. The bumpers have rusted off of it, though. So, GM's new front-wheel drive cars, shows the actual front-wheel drive platform. Transverse mounted engine, McPherson struts, suspension, rack and pinion steering, front disc brakes, radial tires, and more. There again, this stuff in today's world, common, everything has it. 1979, state of the art, so new, so technologically advanced, they literally had to show the picture and explain it to everybody. So that's kind of crazy to think about in today's world. But obviously it worked because they're still using it. So another great ad, 46% better estimated gas mileage in one of our most distinctive Grand Prix ever. More Pontiac to the gallon, a two-tone green Grand Prix. G-bodies, obviously, like we've been talking about, crazy popular. I've actually got one of these in the yard in the same color scheme right now. So always like checking out the G-body stuff. This one's black and white, but it's so great we wanted to check it out. Pennzoil, a sign of the times. But Pennzoil, actually, this Pennzoil ad shows all kinds of motorsports from the late 70s in this ad that uses Pennzoil. So I thought that was cool. Drag racing, IndyCar, boats, off-road, road course, a little bit of everything worked into this one. Number one, weren't all those front ends recalled? There again, I don't remember. I was 5-6 years old, so I don't remember some of those specifics. But it was cool the way they had to tout it and explain it to people. Next ad, great ad, full color for the AMC Spirit. Why horse around? Genuine sports car excitement for $651 less than the Mustang. The new AMC Spirit GT. There again, something we don't really think about hardly at all anymore, but a great ad. Scott had an 83 Mark 6, an 87 town car, and still has an 07 town car. So a lot of Lincoln fans on here tonight. How about a liquor ad? No wild turkey tonight, so we're going to mix in a few others, including Lord Calvert, the Canadian spirit, the unique spirit of Canada. We bottled it. Color ad. There again, it's just, I love looking back at all of this stuff. The next ad, I debated about showing this one because I didn't want to upset anybody. But Chris, that's the Lord in the bottle. Has anybody reached you about your vehicle's extended warranty? Because that's what GM had in this one, their continuous protection plan about your car's extended warranty. Yep, it isn't new. They've been doing it for years. It just wasn't as annoying when it was in a magazine and you could flip right past it. So BW's Garage says, that's so worthy we should show the Hudson badge. There we go. Number one, if you found an AMC Spirit now in concours condition, you probably only lose 50% of the MSRP. I think it'd probably worth more than MSRP, but I think they're going to have a following, is my personal opinion. Let's flip back a few more pages here. And let's check out a cigarette ad. Obviously, you know, Winston Cup, Winston Drag Racing, Winston was everywhere back then. And that's because I want the best taste I can get, and I get it from Winston. Mountain man looking type dude there, got his cigarette. And, of course, we got our Surgeon General's warning down here at the bottom, which I don't think anybody really paid much of attention to. But there again, it's all about the taste of your cigarettes. So that's what they sold them on. Another ad, and this is a foreign car, but I still had to show it because it's so stereotypical of the late 70s. And it's even a color ad. So how about, who remembers the Renault Le Car? There she is, the Renault Le Car, after 20 years of giving Volkswagen, religiously, driving Volkswagen religiously, the Reverend Dr. Gray Smith converted. So proving that they think they are just as good or very easily competing with the Volkswagen, with the Le Car. So definitely thought that was a very interesting ad and well worth taking a second to look at. So Chris, he remembers all of these ads. But that's what makes it fun. Going back in time, checking this stuff out. And Big Job says, La Death Trap is what they call them. Iron Day says Cold War Motors restored a Le Car. So, yeah, number one says they forgot the part, and the very next week the Rev was back at VW. So, but the next ad we're going to check out, Old School, says Ford Fiesta competed with it, and everybody's got to remember this ad. The Marlboro Man, come to where the flavor is. Come to Marlboro Country. Had the cowboy in it, had his cowboy hat, had his lasso. And of course, had his Marlboro in his mouth. So, Jason said, need to put a LeBron on the Le Car. Joe says on Facebook, a piece of junk. So there again, the Marlboro Man ad. Everybody's got to remember these. They used them for years. Rough and tough cowboy type guy, and that's why he smoked Marlboros. BW's Garage had a Renault Reliance. Yeah, I think that's Reliance or Alliance. I think they're Renault Alliances. That's what I think they were. Next ad is really great. Number one says you can't smoke with gloves on. This is a really great Dodge pickup ad. 4x4x40. Dodge has more than 40 years of experience of building four-wheel drives. Great color ad. Dodge pickup in the off-road setting with, hauling dirt bikes. A lot of specifics about the four-wheel drive Dodge pickups of the era. Another great full color ad, even an action shot ad with a lot of details in it. On Jeep, the Jeep CJ, we build them tough because you play rough. Jeep, we wrote the book on four-wheel drive. Great ad here, action shot, throwing some dirt, going downhill, gets into some of the specifics of the four-wheel drives system on the Jeeps. Obviously Jeeps still today, still crazy bonkers. These CJs are still hot. People still love them. And they've had a great run. And this was such a great ad. It is definitely the 70s era in the setting and the colors and the style, but great ad. And like I said, gives the details, action shots, everything you want in an action type vehicle. So but then after the Jeep, we kind of shift gears in the ad world. But there again, it's still a piece of this time. That's why I wanted to go ahead and bring this one up, because it is still a shot from this window, from this time. The 1980 Chevy Citation, the first Chevy of the 80s. Once again, color picture, kind of an action. Well, it's as an action of a shot as you can get for a Citation driving down the road. That's about as most of an action shot you can get. Shows the structure, the space frame structure of the unibody, things like that, to make everybody comfortable with their new 1980 Chevy Citation. So that's right, Kevin. The Marlboro Man is pretty iconic. Joe's a fan of the CJ5N7 Jeeps too. So over on Facebook. Another ad we're going to check out, and this was black and white, and but it was kind of different because it's not an ad we typically see, and it was for Lotus, the limited edition Lotus S2 Esprit, commemorating Mario Andretti's 1978 World Car Constructors Championship. Only 99 available in North America. Mr. Andretti reserved the other one. So, Lotus, not something that you typically see advertising a lot of these. Black and white, kind of a simple ad, nothing real carried away, and but there again, something different. And we'll flip to the back for a full-size car, the 1979 Ford LTD. Just your basic sedan, kind of something a little different, but once again, a nice color ad, very stately ad, darker colored car, dark setting, guy in a tuxedo in the background. So kind of a stately ad that this is your more refined automobile for that era. And then, of course, like was mentioned earlier, the back cover, Alive with Pleasure, Newport. After all, if smoking isn't a pleasure, why bother? So it's just cracks you up to, see how they did this and how they marketed a lot of this stuff. In July of 1979. Hudson badge. Bill says VW's had the best warranties back then. So lots of comments on the ads. Looks like a lot of you guys enjoyed those as well. Glad you did. I was pretty excited about the ads when I got into them. Kevin's just waiting for Jeeps to go electric. So. But I love the magazines from this era. But because it's stuff that I kind of am starting to remember from when I was a little kid. So that was exciting to me. Big Job says 79 was a good year. Was the number one was the Andretti Lotus package black with gold? Well, let's find out see if it says real quick. It does not say, but it does look like it could be. If we look at it real close, now that you mentioned that, it's got some striping. I hope you guys can see this because I didn't even really notice it at first. Right down the side of the car that says World Champion. And it's, it comes to a point here, has a stripe along here and a stripe along below that. So black with gold could very, very possibly be what it was. Just does not tell us in this particular ad. Old School was born in 79. Chris, I had one of those two doors. My friends called it the Love Machine, the LTD. So anyway, that wraps up the July of 1979 issue of Motor Trend. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I loved it. We'll get some more stuff for next week. Check out some more cool stuff. We're going to flash the Hudson badge up here one time real quick so everybody can have a drink. And then we are going to get into trivia, the new raffle, the new inventory, and what's going on next week for videos. So I think we're going to time trivia just to make it more interesting. How long do you guys want? A minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes? Because all we're doing is, we just go on until somebody finds the answer in one of the videos. So I don't know what you guys think or how long you want to go, but I think we'll do maybe like 2 minutes tonight. That should give everybody time to find it. Number one, I think John Player Special Cigarettes was the Lotus sponsor. Okay. And it didn't say anything about any of that either. So that's something we'd have to do a little more research on to get into that. So Kim says 2 minutes tops. Okay. So we'll do 2 minutes on trivia. And I'm going to set the stopwatch on my phone as we go. David says 2. So we're going to go 2 minutes. That should give everybody time to try to find it. And tonight, like we talked about before, Big Joe says he might need the whole day. So we're going to give away another can from our good friend Mike Shook at Auto Artistry over in Russell, Kansas. They built some super cool hot rods over there. Another one of the Phillips 66 cans, the red and white ones. We've had some of these we've given away. I think we're about out of those. Nope, it is not the Notre Dame football coach. But this is a great can. It is a cardboard can, obviously great condition. Auto Artistry, Russell, Kansas. Be sure to check that out. Check them out on their website, their Facebook page, autoartistry.com, or be sure to give their Facebook page a like to keep up with what Mike's got going on over there. Has all the details on the back about this can of Phillips 66 motor oil. And like I said, great piece. Kevin liked the magazine. Good. I'm glad you did because I thought it was cool. So anyway, the Phillips 66 motor oil can from our good friend Mike Shook at Auto Artistry in Russell, Kansas. Tonight's question is, when they did the video on my loader at pulling the engine out of it, there's a semi in the background. If you look closely, you can tell what kind of semi that is. So what kind of semi is that? The timer is going, looking for the brand of that semi. It's a little tricky. It's a little tricky to see, but that was the point. So timer's going. We're going 2 minutes tonight. That's what everybody wanted. We'll see how that works. We may back it off to 90 seconds next time. No correct answers yet, but we've got some stuff popping in. Number one got it. It was an international. That's what it was. It was an international, so number one is our winner tonight. If you want to get a hold of me tomorrow on your shipping information, so took about 30 seconds, so maybe we'll go to 90 seconds next time. So we'll probably back that off to 90 seconds next week, and we'll roll with that one. So number one is our winner tonight on the Phillips 66 can. So, and we had some other IHs come in right after that. So Old School says I don't know anything about semis. So Nathan says he's having a great time hanging out. So appreciate that. Glad you're here. Raffle, like we talked about last week, the December raffle, we only had 3 or 4 people get involved. When we started the raffle last spring, I told everybody as long as it supports itself, we can keep doing it. I obviously have to buy the product, and then I have to package it, and I also have to pay the shipping on it. So all that's got to be factored in. Jason, could you repeat the question? What was the semi in the background of the when they pulled the engine out of the loader in that video? So, but anyway, you guys wanted to do another raffle, so we will. We'll try it again, and we'll see. I mean, we did barely get it covered last month. It did float because I think Jason got it on the last day, and that kind of helped make it work. But Big Job says he was too busy checking out the loader. Old School says it was rigged. And number one says December, January, probably going to be low months because of holidays and bills, and I do understand that. But it still has to float itself. I mean, I can't buy all the stuff and then give it away for nothing. So it does have to float itself. So what we're going to do this month is kind of a Lori says have the winner pay shipping charges, and we may do that on some of this stuff. We did talk about doing a pedal car. A lot of you guys wanted to do a pedal car, and we still may do the pedal car and have the winner pay shipping on it. That is still definitely on the table. If we get some more people in this month where it looks like it's kind of, we're still going to play along, we may go ahead and do that pedal car for February. I know a lot of you guys, when we did the pedal cars, some pedal cars on Toy Tuesday here 3 or 4 weeks ago, a lot of you guys wanted to give that one away. So I've got one of those that we feature that I was going to put on the market, and a lot of you guys says, let's raffle it. So that still is definitely a possibility, depending on how things go. If we're still going to make, if the raffle's still going to go. So what I did this month was I kind of got just a handful of miscellaneous things that is all related. A lot of the type of stuff we give away on here. Let's see. Big job. Found another loader on Facebook. I'm hoping mine gets fixed and I don't have to worry about buying another loader. So what do I do? I got a couple cans, a couple plugs, and a couple of license plates. So just a little bit of a smorgasbord of what we typically do. Chris just found us the other day and enjoyed it. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you jumped on with us tonight. We do this every Sunday night. So I hope you're enjoying this as well. We'll start off with, and this is what's great about old spark plugs. Your old spark plugs, that collectible, no, but I love the boxes. I love the period and what they represent. Obviously, these were super common back in the day, but not something you see every day. Phone calls typically work best, number one, unless you're going to detail every single thing out on the text. That's why I don't do any texts. I got a text yesterday that said, literally, you still got that cab. That was the entire text. You still got that cab. How am I supposed to answer that type of stuff? So, that's why calling me works the best, unless you've got every single line item detailed out on that. But, these were super common back in the day, but you don't see them that often in the old school box on the AC spark plug. So do I still have that cab? Well, I've got hundreds of them, so there's a possibility. Yeah, that cab, don't you know? Yeah, that cab, sure. There's 100 of them lined up on pallets that are already off of trucks. So, but anyway, the AC spark plug, there again, these aren't that uncommon, but it's still cool. Rusty goes, oh, yes, I did see that. I got busy. So I'll get back with you on that when we get done. Daniel found an 05 Grand Prix with 5,000 miles on it. That's kind of crazy to find something that low. But the AC spark plug box, it's got a plug in it. But, the box is what's great about it. The next spark plug box is even cooler. Skelly spark plug. So this does have the plug in it as well. But there again, just looking back at the time period on this stuff is so great. And let's see if we can get this thing out of here. It's all wrapped up. Wow. It's even got I think this is actually a used plug somebody put back in the box, but it does have the little Skelly on the plug as well. Have you ever seen AJ Foyt center caps for Krager wheels? No, I have not seen those. So everybody wants the Hudson badge again. So, welcome, Chris. Glad you made it, as well as we've got some new guys jumping on with us pretty regularly. Appreciate all your guys' support and jumping on with us and hanging out. So those two plugs are going to be part of the raffle. We're going to do some license plates as part of the raffle. These are all actual old school metal, you heard them, license plates. The first one is a new old stock. Well, hello, Gray Kitty. Gray Kitty's hanging out tonight. 1974 Kansas. The next one, I think this one's used. It looks like it's had a screw on, but it is an actual metal stamped steel. 1975 Kansas. This license plate that's good, that is part of the raffle. I don't know where she went. She wandered off. She came up here, then she wandered off. Is in the package. So this is pretty cool. Kansas, RH, right? Roadhog, no, that was Rush County is what that stood for. RH stood for Rush County. So let's get this one out and take a look at it. Kansas used the 2-letter designation for the county to designate what area of the state it was from. So that's what the RH stood for. The letter was the first letter of the last name. So V would have been, somebody with a last name that started with a V. And I think in some of them, like, encompassed a couple of different letters as well. This thing's still tight in here, so I got to kind of try to wiggle it around because I obviously don't want to destroy the package. I had this out earlier to make sure I could get it out. Here we go. Jason says he has a license plate problem. Well, here's this one. It's coming out of the package as we speak. A brand new 1956 Kansas license plate. This is LB. This was a Labette County. But, brand new in the package. So that one's going to be included in the raffle. So like I said, just kind of a smorgasbord of some cool stuff. So Big Job says, sorry, guys, that's all she's going to drink. Can't drink anymore. So we'll throw that up for everybody else, though. Let them check it out. Kim likes them. Now, so those 3 plates are going. The 74, the 75, the new old stock 74, the used 75, and the new old stock in package 1956. Now, I'm going to throw one more license plate in on this deal. Like I said, we got kind of a mixture tonight for this month. Lee loves old license plates, so this is kind of a different looking license plate. It's actually not Kansas, it's Missouri. And it's kind of weird because Norma loves license plates. David W says, get in, everybody get in. And there again, and then we'll go over the details after we get done here. Matt found half a license plate from 1930. This license plate's 8.5 inches long and 1.5 inches wide. Missouri. And there it is. That's the license plate. Missouri, 1943. So, in 1943, Missouri made these little tiny plates to screw onto your other one, had these holes here to screw onto your other tag. Obviously, save metal for the war effort. So this is a 1943 Missouri license plate. Big Job to have that on eBay, the 56 plate. I think I've got a match set on eBay. I've got a handful of those. So I think there's a match set, like consecutive numbers that are on eBay that are listed right now. So that license plate that's right, David, metal rationing. So this license plate is going in on the raffle as well. Now, for good measure, I thought we'd throw a couple of cans in. We've got to make it something, we've got to have a little bit of value here to get you guys to jump in. I understand that. First can, this is a metal one. Original steel, Haviland motor oil can. Painted. It is drained on the bottom. Top is intact. A little bit of fading on the red, but overall, nice condition. That the whole plate, well, the way I think that's why it had these holes here. I think this screwed on top of your 1942 plate is what I think they were doing. So that was, I think, the reasoning behind that. Kevin won a Kansas license plate from the runner-up contest. Yep, we've done that before too. So now I think this was all you got, and you screwed this on your other plate to show you had bought your 1943 tag. So the Texaco Haviland going in with the raffle, and one more can, and this is a great can. Mobile outboard. Couple dings and dents in this one, but overall, pretty nice can here as well. Has the cap on it. So that's going in. So there you have it. That's the raffle. We'll get a picture posted of it next week. Haviland can, mobile oil cans. 2 cool spark plugs in original packaging. Great display pieces. And the license plates. The 1943 Missouri. The used but nice condition, all metal stamped 1975 Kansas. The Newell stock, Rush County 1974. And the Newell stock in package 1956 Kansas plate. So it looks like a lot of you guys dig it. Number one, we've got 50 plus in the chat. Yeah, and we've been hanging in there, which is even better. Number one, that's a good point. Not only do we have 50 plus, we've been carrying that for most of the evening. So it's good colors on the can, says Kevin. Kim says she's in just for the plates alone. So anyway, the details are in the text. PayPal information is in there. PayPal friends and family only. After what we talked about last week, when they changed some of their parameters on refunds and things like that. So friends and family only is the only way I'll take PayPal or check, money order. Some guys have even just sent me cash in the mail. Just throw 10 bucks in an envelope, say, here's for the raffle, here's my information. That works too. So Dave W says he's gonna jump in. So, but I'm glad you guys like it. Let's see if we get some more life back into this raffle. We'll keep it going. I've got some other ideas on some stuff that we can absolutely get worked in the future. So, and we'll do that on the 30th. We'll give it away on January 30th. So, man, if we get 100 plus before Easter, we're giving away a basket case. So we'll see what happens. We've got a good start. We've got a great crowd, and we're hanging. Apparently, you guys are enjoying it because we're hanging in there. So that's right. We all hope Big Job gets to feeling better. So, we got to get back to the Hudson badge. So, but anyway. We'll see what happens. We'll run the raffle. We'll see what happens with it, and we'll give it a shot and see what you guys think of it this time. Next week, as always, we'll be back on our normal schedule as far as who's in. I'll give you an update as to who is in to make sure that there isn't any, mistakes as far as people that thought they were in and didn't make it. So Rusty Nails got some champion plugs. So BW is already in, so he's ready to go. So Chris is still having fun with us. I'm glad you're having a good time, Chris, since you're new to us. Like we do it every Sunday night. Big Job said he told God he couldn't miss the show tonight, so he had to hang in there. Well, hopefully, like I said, you're through the worst of it. So hopefully you're through the worst of it and you're on the way back. So, and I don't, like I said, old school, I don't know what the issue with PayPal is because it goes through. And like I said, I'm just taking them friends and family, but I did get one of those friends and family the other day, and it sailed right through again. So I'm not sure what the hang up is there. But anyway, what did I do this week? I did pick up some stuff this week. Got a few cool ones that we're going to be bringing you some content on here soon. 1978 Dodge pickup. Basic two-wheel drive, half-ton long bed pickup. But I'm not sure what the deal is on this thing. It's kind of unique. It's got some weird stripes on the tailgate. It's got factory rally wheels on it. It's got a factory AM/FM radio, V8 automatic. Nothing real fancy, but it's got some interesting features about it. So, can't wait to do a little research on that and bring you a video on that and get some of your guys' input on it because it's a cool truck. Big Job like the 83 Ford. So yeah, that was a pretty decent old pickup as well. The 78 Dodge, like I said, it's interesting. These wheels are cool. And it's a neat truck. I can't wait to bring you a video on it, see what you guys think of it. Did you get rid of the Auto Bianchi? The Auto Bianchi is sold. I did get a check for it, I think last Monday. So I did get paid for the Auto Bianchi. It's going to a new home. And the buyer actually has found another one already that was, he told me it was a rodeo clown car at one point in its life. He said there is absolutely nothing that is straight on this other one he found. So he's going to build this car. He's going to use the running gear and the floor out of the other one because he said it is beat to a pulp from being a rodeo clown car, and he's going to use this body on that running gear and floor, and he's going to build it. So sounds like it's got a bright future. And if I hear more from him about it, I'll keep you posted. But yep, that seems to be the plans for the Auto Bianchi. What else? 55 Olds. Picked up a 55 Olds 88 this week, regular four-door sedan. Some interesting options on it. Fairly well-loaded car for a basic 88 sedan. So that's going to be a cool one. Shopcat sounds like the guy has a sickness as bad as anybody else. That's right. Yep. Number one says, clown car, old school. We found your classic. Chris, our new friend Chris, has a 79 F350 with a 12 valve powered. I assume it's 12 valve Cummins. I'm not sure. Old school says it's still not working, so I'm not. That kind of baffles me because it's like I said, it's coming through any other time. Yeah, and Chris, if you want, you'll definitely want to go back and check out the videos on my 78 F250 I picked up last year. Then was actually looking at that truck today, so I need to get fuel tanks ordered for it. So I was trying to figure out which tanks I need to get ordered for that 78 F250 that I've got. That's a truck that I'm keeping as part of my own collection. So you'll definitely want to go back and see the videos on that Hudson Badge and check it out. So last car I picked up this week, 1961 Chevy Impala, basic four-door. But there again, it's an Impala. Any of that Chevy stuff is getting tough to find. Still got bits and pieces on it. So we're going to be bringing you a video of that as well. So Scott says there's two little red trucks in his neighborhood. Those little red Expresses, those are great trucks as well. Scott hanging out with us on Facebook. Hope you guys are still hanging in there and everything's still ticking over there. I'm still getting error messages. We don't have a ton of you on Facebook. We've still got some of you with us, so that's good news. So definitely be watching for those videos coming up soon. What is coming up this week on videos? Well, we'll see what happens. See when I get these other cars drug out of this building that we're going to go get on this week. Okay, yeah, Chris says that is 12 valve Cummins. So whatever happened to Navy Nick and the Camaro? I have not heard anything out of Navy Nick in quite a while. That's a good question, number one. I don't know if he's still hanging out with us on here. I know he works in IT and he goes in very early in the morning because when we were working on that Camaro deal, he went to work at like 4. So he usually goes to bed pretty early. So maybe he may be cashing it in a little earlier. Maybe he may be getting on with us early and then just hitting the sack. I'm not sure, but I haven't heard anything out of him in several months. So all we know is we got his Camaro to him. He was thrilled with it. Him and his boys were excited about it. It was in his garage. And it got there and my phone rang and I picked it up and all I heard is it's beautiful. It's beautiful and it's in my garage. So it's definitely think it went to the right place, but have not heard any updates on it. So if you're still out there, Nick, jump on with us and let us know if you've done anything with the Camaro or where you're at with that deal. What's coming up next week? Hopefully we get these two cars out of this building here in the next few days. Shopcat couldn't remember what 61 Impala looked like. Had to Google it. It's a nice thing about Google. You can always do that. So hopefully we'll be getting those dug out, and I will get at least a basic video of, where we found them, as we found them, and maybe get a quick look at them after we get them drug out. They are both coming home. My dad bought both of them, so we are going to get them out. They are going to his shop, and so we will definitely be bringing you some of that. But I'm excited about it because, like I said, one of these cars I've known about them, never been up close and personal with one ever, and so was really excited about all the really unique features on this particular car. So I don't want to give too much of it away because it is a surprise and it is neat. But Kevin needs to send a picture of the Auto Bianchi when it's finished. No, it's not a bubble top number one. As I said earlier, it's just a 4-door. But there again, finding any of them is tough. So do I have matchbooks? I got tons of matchbooks. I love old car matchbooks. Some we've never touched on here, Jason. That's a good point because we never have brought that up. But yeah, I love matchbooks. In fact, I just seen some today when I was up there messing. I had to get a new printer, copier, scanner thing, and I was setting it up and seen some matchbooks up there on that shelf. So Rylan looking for 65 Chevy pickup parts. I do have some 64 to 66 era Chevy pickups in stock. Just depends on what you need on that. If you want to give me a call tomorrow, I can get the details of what you need on that. Hudson badge. So that's Chris found us on Facebook. We jumped on YouTube, so that's great. Glad you made it. What is coming up next week on videos? Well, obviously, if I can get some stuff shot on the cars in the building, hopefully we can bring you that. I've got to get the videos done on the stuff I brought in last week. Jason just got into matchbooks. That was a mistake because now you want to buy them all the time because that's what I do. Number one, was that the longer roof with the shade over the rear glass or the metal roof with the convertible creases in it? I think it overhangs the back glass, but I haven't even looked at it that close yet, so I don't know for sure. So I've got to get the videos on the Dodge pickup, the 55 Olds, the 61 Impala. I've got one more video from my buddy's yard that I need to get up. Yeah, it is kind of a flat top. It is a sedan, but it is a flat top type sedan shop cat. So I got the one from my buddy's yard left to do till I get down to see him again. Got a 70 C10 Chevy pickup that we picked up. I haven't showed you guys yet. Got a great looking 53 Chevy 6100 farm truck. Nice truck, really nice truck. Haven't showed you yet. All that stuff's coming up. Plus, what do we want to do on Toy Tuesday? Anybody got any ideas for Toy Tuesday? We've been working through the stacks of signs that we cleaned out of my buddy's bar that I had loaned him while he had his bar and grill open. And they sold that building, so I've got all those back. We've got 30 signs there you haven't seen. We looked at a couple of them the other night. Number one says toys. I haven't bought any toys lately. Of course, not that I don't have enough toys. We could do some toys, but I was thinking either doing some more signs or doing some more World War II stuff. So one of those things, if anybody's got any opinion on it, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Norman, does a 59 Biscayne have arrows on the tops of the front fenders? I think they had the little rocket ship. I think all 59s had the little rocket ship. I'm not sure. But the Impala was the only one that had the full strip that went from the rocket ship all the way along the top of the fender. Oh, number one wants to do the turtle wax bottle. Yeah, we could do that. Or we can definitely try to squeeze that in, or I can go grab it real quick too. But I got that written down, so we need to get that worked in to check that out. So, in fact, why don't I just go grab it? It's right over there. If you guys want to hang out or say here just a second, I'll grab the turtle wax and we'll squeeze that in for you right now, old school. All right, here it is. We got this at an auction several years ago. Number one, Toy Tuesdays, we're going to include World War II and things the light put up for motion and project pedal cars for sale and raffle. So, yeah, we got to get some of it. Yeah, old school says now. Well, here it is. Here's the turtle wax bottle that we've got. It was in the case in here in the office, so I just thought we'd grab it and check it out. Hard shell finish, auto polish. We found this in an auction. My daughter thought it was great. She's the one that definitely picked it out. Still has the original cap. Turtle wax for the hard shell finish. Brillium, science's amazing formula discovery, gives your car a dazzling, super brilliant hard shell finish. Only turtle wax with Brillium gives results never before attained in minutes. Unsurpassed protection against sun, rain, snow, salt spray, ice, and dew. Sensational four-way action. Cleans, polishes, protects, and seals in one simple, easy operation. Has an old school car, definitely 50s era. This is all paint. This is not any paper label on this. Every bit of this is all painted on here, which is even cooler. So, and old school, yep, that's the one he's been looking for. So, Jason says it's minty. It is kind of minty. So, neat piece. So, there you go, old school. But that's the only one I've got. That's in our personal collection, but it is a cool piece. She did a pretty good job cleaning it out. We've got a little bit of residue in there. It's pretty tough to clean out the inside of a bottle when you've got a glass bottle to work with. But there it is, old school. Told you I had one. I figured we just will get it out and check it out right now. So Jason says incredible. Yep, it's a neat piece. So Hudson badge. Anyway. David W. Nice. He's got a 90s glass one. So, but yeah, no problem, old school. I'm more than happy to do it. Like I said, it just happened to be here in the office. So when you brought it up, and then, and I wrote it down for next time, but when you brought it up there again, it's like, well, shoot, let's just grab it real quick. We're about ready to wrap up. Let's check it out while we've all got a minute. But there it is, the turtle wax bottle by request from Old School. So we got a chance to check it out with original caps. So neat piece. Number one, that's why they call them greasers. They use beryllium turtle wax as Brill cream. It could be. So, but anyway, there it is, the turtle wax bottle. Added bonus tonight, checking that out too. So, Big Job says he heard you take denture cleaner to glass bottles. And never heard that, haven't tried it, but next time I clean up a bottle, I'll try to remember that. Shopcast is a whiff, that might get you high. So, but anyway, turtle wax is custom made for discriminating car owners. So, only turtle wax has beryllium. This has all kinds of 50s cliche stuff all over it. But anyway, there we go. The turtle wax bottle by request from Old School. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Anyway, that being said, that's about what I've got for tonight. Great time tonight. Enjoyed it. Had a blast with the auction. Getting this on the way out to Jason. Jason was our winner tonight. He bid $30 on the Studebaker badge, got it for his daughter. Super excited about that. That's what this is all about. Taking it on to the next generation, getting your kids involved, and doing stuff like this. Doing stuff like us hanging out on here, having a great time, having a good time, Hudson Badge. Kevin says, thanks for showing the bottle, no problem. And there again, if you guys have ideas, I mean, we can sure work it in, especially when it's something that just happened to be right here behind the desk in the case I've got in the office, so that worked out great. So we'll pick out another little piece to auction next week since everybody seemed to have a lot of fun with it. I don't know what we'll get. We may get a can. We may get another badge. Who knows? We'll pick out something cool. Seemed to had really good response with the raffle items, so I'm glad you guys like that. Jason says he's getting a little tipsy again. So maybe we need to I'll do this. I'll hold the Hudson badge up like 43 times next week throughout the show. Then we do the auction at the end after I hold up the Hudson badge about 43 times and get everybody good and loaded. Then we'll do the auction. So, let's see what else we got going on. Shopcast dishwasher repair. Steel Ponies, great show as usual. Thanks. Appreciate that. Terry says, hopes to see us on Tuesday. Yeah, we'll definitely do some cool stuff on Tuesday. We'll see what we got time to dig out. So, number one says, smart move. Drink first, auction last. There we go. Big Job says he doesn't want any more milk. Norma says, great show. And I appreciate it. But there again, what makes this great is all of you, your participation. We've got such a great group on here. We have fun. The auction's a great new piece to the format. I think that's going to be a blast. I'm glad it went well tonight and super happy about the results and where this thing is going. Lee said he had a great time. Awesome chat. That's awesome. And there again, this isn't about me. I'm just the one that gets to sit here and hang out. This is about all of us. It's a community. It's fun. It's enjoyable. And we do a lot of cool stuff on here. So, details for the raffle in the text. Click on this after we get done. PayPal info is in there, friends and family. Mailing info is in there for mailing in your entries. $1 per chance. Every dollar that you send me puts your name into the Big Buick oil can. Whoa, about got away from me for the raffle. So send me $5, you're in here 5 times, $10, 10 times, $20, 20 times, etc., for the raffle package for January. 2 oil cans, 2 spark plugs, and the license plates. So be sure to get in on that. We'll have another auction next week. We'll do another magazine next week. We'll check out some more badges next week and have a great time. So stay tuned. I hope we get those cars dug out of the building. Can't wait to show you those. We'll pick out some cool stuff for Toy Tuesday and do that Tuesday evening. And Gasser says he thinks we all need a drink. That's why we have our iconic Hudson badge. So Kim says good night. Big Job. I think the auction should be at the end of a good drunk. You might be able to buy a couple more cars every week. Good point. So Maybe we'll do that. We'll move the auction towards the end next time. Like I said, tonight was just kind of a whim. Let's try it, see if it works. It works. And like I said, couldn't be happier with the results. So we'll move the auction towards the end. And I'm going to do, you're going to see a lot of this next week. Maybe I'll just go like this all night next week before we get to the auction portion of it. So anyway, let's see. That's about it for my notes. I've got number one, get a hold of me on your contact info. I've got Jason down to get a hold of me on paying for the badge. Get in on the raffle. Anybody wants t-shirts, the information is also in the text. You can use PayPal or mail payment on that as well. Steel Ponies, my money order should be there in several days. Yeah. I'll probably have it tomorrow, I'm betting. So for some stuff that Steel Ponies wanted to order for his collection. Roger says, see us Wednesday lunchtime. So we'll be on Toy Tuesday at 7 Tuesday night, and Roger will be having lunch in Australia, but he's going to be hanging out with us, checking stuff out. So, and that's what there's been several comments about Bob Saget passed away. I had not heard that. I seen that pop up several times tonight. It just kind of got lost in the scroll. So yeah, Rusty Nels, thanks for the info on the air pump. There again, that's what this community is about: sharing knowledge and bringing us together about cool old stuff. So. There again, t-shirt info is in that stuff as well. Sometimes if you want to do a combined payment for a t-shirt and the raffle drawing, just put a note in there, X amount for the raffle, X amount for a t-shirt, and I'll get a t-shirt on the way out to you. So that's what I've got. Dan says another great one as well. We hadn't heard much out of Dan tonight, but you were here with us, so that's all that matters. Appreciate it, everybody. I'm going to sign off. We will see you live Tuesday evening, 7 o'clock. We'll check out some more cool memorabilia. Hope to bring you that video of the cars we're going to be digging out of a building here, hopefully tomorrow. If not tomorrow, sometime this week, definitely by the end of the week, and get rolling on that. Going to try to go to a swap meet next Saturday. There's a swap meet in Holdridge, Nebraska. I'm going to try to catch if any of you are around there. Be sure to stop and say hi if you see me up there. That's right. Hope Big Job gets better. Hang in there. Sounds like he's through the worst of it. See. Okay, I think we're about caught up. Let me check Facebook here. Joe says, great show. Like the Diamond T door badge. So, looks like we're caught up. I'll keep an eye out for a few more seconds. As always, there's always, as soon as I hit end, 3 or 4 more things pop up. So, I'll give it a few seconds here. And we'll get ready to be finished up. So, stay tuned, everybody. Thanks for being here. Had a great time with all of you tonight. Appreciate the support. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate you sharing it around with your friends. We've got a great group, and it's building all the time. And hope to see you soon on the next episode. We'll hope to see you Tuesday night, and definitely hope to see you back here next Sunday night, 7 o'clock Central Time, or noon on Monday in Australia for Sunday Night Live Chat. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you soon on the next video.